Yeah, y'all might as well just get rid of her. Just get rid of Caitlin Clark at this point. Indiana Fever, Amber Cox, Stephanie White. Y'all clearly don't value her. Y'all clearly want to go in another direction. Y'all just don't want to deal with the backlash from the fan base that is going to come with it. But y'all made it very obvious. Y'all drawn a line in the sand and shown what side y'all are standing on. We got Amber Cox pissed at Caitlin Clark fans for calling out how happy she is after wins without her, and she's not like that when Caitlin Clark is doing her thing and they're winning games. She's mad that fans are calling her out.
The letter landed on the desk like a bombshell. Members of Congress are no longer sitting back and simply watching what is happening. They are now demanding answers about the targeted hostility directed at Caitlin Clark. But when Stephanie White was faced with the serious claims of civil rights concerns and physical attacks against her own superstar, her response wasn't just distant. It was a complete shutdown. She didn't show anger, support, or even concern. Instead, she chose a response that has many fans demanding Clark be traded. The battle lines have now been drawn, and Indiana's leadership has made it clear where they stand. This could become a defining moment that changes the WNBA for years to come.
Clark Stan account. Amber Cox is going back and forth with Caitlin Clark's Stan account on social media. This is the GM of the team, people. Shout out to Caitlin Clark's Stan account. Amber Cox responded, "Nonsense. You know who is also happy after any win? Cece, because this is a team full of people who celebrate and care for one another, and like all of them, she's a great teammate. We all cannot wait to have Caitlin Clark back on the court. Enough with this ridiculous narrative." Amber Cox is pissed. Amber Cox.
This situation is no longer just about a few hard fouls or the typical treatment of a rookie. It has grown into something much bigger. Members of the United States Congress sent an official letter to Commissioner Kathy Engelbert expressing serious concerns about the physical hostility and what they described as real violence aimed at Caitlin Clark during games. One statement in that letter immediately grabbed the league's attention because it suggested that many of these repeated attacks could be racially motivated. The issue has now moved far beyond basketball and into the federal government. When lawmakers begin asking questions about player safety and civil rights, most people expect a coach to strongly defend her player. But Stephanie White chose a very different response.
So, forget us though. Look, y'all are getting letters from Congress. Y'all are being watched. You can say what you want. We are on to you guys, and it is what it is. You can be as mad as you like, but we see what's going on. We see exactly what's going on. You are not this celebratory of Caitlin Clark ever. You and Stephanie White have clearly shown y'all want this to be Kelsey Mitchell's team, and y'all should just move forward with it. Stand on business. Bust your move. Make your move. That's how I'm feeling. Now, we got to get to Stephanie White.
When Stephanie White was directly asked how she felt about the congressional inquiry, she didn't hesitate, but she also didn't answer the question. Instead, she avoided it completely by pointing to a general team statement rather than offering any personal words of support for her star player. It was a clear attempt to avoid the issue, and many people watching were left shocked. How can you hear that one of your players is being discussed in a federal letter about her safety and simply say that you want to keep the focus on basketball? For many fans, this felt like the biggest betrayal of all. It gave the impression that the coaching staff cared more about avoiding controversy than standing up for the player who completely changed the future of the franchise.
At all. They don't want anything to do with it. Let's take a listen to what Stephanie White had to say about the letter from Congress for Caitlin Clark's civil rights potentially being violated.
Coach, several members of Congress sent a letter this week to Commissioner Engelbert. They said they're concerned about what they called physical hostility and violence toward her. One line in particular said, quote, "Concerning reports suggest that many of these attacks against Caitlin Clark may be racially motivated." What's your reaction to that?
Our team made a statement yesterday, so you can find that statement.
No, I understand.
See, she don't want to answer. She refusing to protect Caitlin Clark.
What has upset the fan base the most is what many see as a clear double standard. People still remember how outspoken Stephanie White has been in the past when defending players like Alyssa Thomas. She often spoke about inclusion, protecting players from outside criticism, and standing together as a league. She repeatedly talked about the league's values and the importance of supporting one another. But when the attention turned to protecting Caitlin Clark from repeated physical attacks on the court, her tone changed completely. Suddenly, she didn't want to discuss the issue. Suddenly, it became something she claimed was beyond the team's control. To many fans, this different approach makes it seem like Clark is being treated by a completely different set of rules than everyone else in the league.
See, she don't want to answer. She refusing to protect Caitlin Clark. You got up there, you had a bunch to say for Alyssa Thomas. But when it comes to Caitlin Clark, you don't have nothing to say in protection for her, huh? This league, when it comes to Alyssa Thomas, this league is about inclusiveness. This league is about small groups. This league is about, y'all, you said the league is about everything but basketball. Why aren't you going on a tangent in protection of Caitlin Clark the way you did for Alyssa Thomas?
Stephanie White is not the only person facing criticism right now. Indiana Fever general manager Amber Cox is also under heavy pressure from fans, especially on social media, and the situation doesn't look good for her. Many fans have been paying close attention to her online activity and believe they have noticed a strange pattern. They feel that the front office seems much more excited to celebrate when the team wins without Caitlin Clark on the court. After a recent victory over the Mercury, Cox posted on X to praise the team's performance. But instead of celebrating with her, many fans criticized the post. They accused her of being far more vocal and enthusiastic whenever Clark is not the main focus. Rather than staying out of the argument, Cox chose to respond directly and defend herself.
To Toronto, and you guys move on. How about that? Us fans can get what we want, which is to watch Caitlin Clark actually finally get to play her game. And y'all get what y'all want. Y'all already got popular off of her. Everybody's already benefited off of her. Y'all can just move on with Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston and play ball. Good luck to you. Why are we dragging this thing along? Take a look at this on News Nation. WNBA is in trouble, man.
Quite simple. This is about the future of women's sports. We're trying to get more young women, talented women into professional sports. Young women in my district.
The online exchange quickly became memorable, but not for positive reasons. A Caitlin Clark fan account claimed that Amber Cox always seems more outspoken after games that Clark does not play in, and surprisingly, the general manager responded herself. She dismissed the criticism as nonsense and insisted that the entire team supports and celebrates each other. She also said everyone is looking forward to having Clark back on the court. However, many fans were not convinced by her explanation. They pointed to the team's body language, the lack of strong public support for Clark, and what they believe are repeated efforts by the leadership to shift attention away from her importance. The situation has reached the point where the general manager of a professional basketball team is arguing with fan accounts online, showing just how much pressure the Fever front office is facing.
In the WNBA has gotten worse. This is the moment where they put a fist on her throat while she is pinned to the court. I think it's unacceptable. I think a fifth grader looking at the video, a compilation of the video that has happened to Caitlin Clark over the last couple of years would readily see that this type of behavior is unacceptable.
Look, man. Kathy, I don't know what you're going to do to fix this. I don't know what you're going to do to fix this, but you have this league drowning in quicksand. Have you noticed they don't even really talk about the ratings no more? That's because the ratings are going down.
Many fans now believe that the Fever's leadership wants to take the team in a completely different direction. They feel the organization would rather make this Kelsey Mitchell's team or Aaliyah Boston's team instead of fully building around Caitlin Clark. According to this view, Clark is being treated as a challenge to manage rather than as the once-in-a-generation talent she is widely considered to be. The organization has already benefited from sold-out arenas, record-breaking attention, and major television deals that many believe were driven by Clark's arrival. But now that the spotlight includes questions from Congress about player safety and civil rights, some fans feel the leadership is stepping back. They are happy to enjoy the success and publicity, critics argue, but less willing to accept the responsibility that comes with protecting the player who helped create it.
League drowning in quicksand. Have you noticed they don't even really talk about the ratings no more? That's because the ratings are going down. They don't talk about the ratings no more. They definitely don't do that. This league is drowning in quicksand, and Kathy Engelbert has no answers on what to actually do next. And it's pretty alarming and disgusting.
Yeah, it's quite a topic, isn't it, these days, Jess? Hello, David. I will just say this. We have to be very careful about how we look at player voting when it comes to the All-Star vote, right? They comprise 25% of the vote, the media 25%.
One of the biggest moments mentioned in the congressional letter was the incident where Caitlin Clark appeared to have a forearm or fist pressed against her throat during a game. Many fans watched the video and believed the level of physical contact went far beyond normal basketball. One member of Congress even argued that a fifth grader could watch the collection of plays involving Clark and recognize that the repeated treatment was unacceptable. Supporters say this is not simply tough competition, but a pattern of aggressive play that has continued for far too long.